All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Angie. Um, I'm actually here. I kind of ventured out from the house today for our Carrollton Library class tonight and came to Alice Park. So there's probably going to be some um, sound distractions, but this is an experiment. So we're going to see how this works. So, welcome. Um, let's see here. If you are wondering what props we're going to need, um, we'll need for tonight's practice actually one block, okay, one blanket, and a strap, and of course your yoga mat. I'm trying to secure my little tripod here, and I think that's got it. So come into a comfortable sitting position. And we'll just start by rooting down through the sits bones. Now, if you wanted to, you could sit on the edge of your blanket here, or you could sit on your block. Either way is fine. So just allow yourself to begin settling in. And at this point, just allowing each breath to happen all on its own. Really start the process of really connecting the breath with the body, and in this case, finding that good alignment, finding your posture. So every inhalation, feel yourself lengthening upward through the midline of the body, front body, to the crown of your head. And every exhalation, feel yourself sort of rooting down, grounding downward through that back midline and the back body, all the way down to the base of your spine. I'm going to do that visualization with the breath several more times. So inhaling, front body midline. Exhale, back body midline as you root downward through the sits bones. Keep that going all on your own. See if it helps you create more space in your body. Wiggling, adjusting in any way you need to in order to find a comfortable yet aligned sitting position. Just give yourself an opportunity, just a few breaths here, to do a mental check-in for yourself. Just noticing where the mind is. And doing so with a sense of letting go of any judgment that might come up with just this simple act of checking in. So take a big breath in. And as the breath goes out, tuck your chin toward your chest. And then just inhale, lift the head, look up toward the sky without throwing the head back. And then exhale, tuck your chin back in toward your chest again. One more time, inhale, up, and exhale, tucking the chin. And then inhale, roll your head to your right side. Exhale, center. Inhale, left. Exhale, back to center. And then just visit each side once more. Making sure we stay nice and tall through the spine, especially as the chin tucks. And then inhale, lift your head back to a neutral position. So we're going to change the crossing of the legs just to sort of even things out here a bit. And we'll come into just a little bit of shoulder rolls before we practice eagle arms, or Garandasana arms. I see that some folks are joining. I can't see my screen from here because the sun is shining in my eyes, but I'm glad you're here. Forward a few times, rolling the shoulders. And release. So just sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take the arms out in front of us. And since I have, and you don't have to because I didn't specify, but since I have my right leg in front, I'm going to start off with crossing my left arm over. So just check in, see which leg is in front, cross the opposite arm over, and intertwine the arms, eagle arms. Now, if you need a modification for this, if your shoulders are a little tight, then you're just going to squeeze your elbows in toward one another and then kind of cross at the wrists, okay? And press the tops of the hands in towards one another. We're going to do 3 pulses up and then back down. So we'll pulse up with the in-breath, down as we exhale, all the while in our eagle arms. So inhale, lifting the arms up, lifting the elbows, and then exhale. Lower. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Lower. And again, inhale, lift up. Exhale. Coming back to that beginning position. And then see if you can do 3 circles in one direction. And then 3 in the opposite direction. Great. And then release the arms. Reach the arms out in front of you. Change the crossing of the legs again. And then opposite arm. Then the leg that is in front. That opposite arm is going to cross over, or we're squeezing the elbows and crossing at the wrist. So let's do those 3 pulses. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower the elbows down. 2 more times like that. Inhale, lift up. Feel that stretch through the shoulders, the back body. Exhale, lower down. 1 more time. Inhale. And release. And then let's see if we can challenge ourselves to do 3 circles in one direction and 3 in the opposite direction. And then release the arms. So take your time coming on to the hands and the knees. Now if you wanted to, if you're practicing on a hard surface, you could put a blanket under your knees here just for a little bit of extra cushioning. We're going to press straight back into child's pose and just give ourselves this opportunity to rest the forehead, broaden through the lower back. And as you rest in child's pose, make sure your head is not dangling. You want to have it resting on the ground or on your hands or on a block. And then give yourself an opportunity here to go inward in this really grounding pose. Child's pose is a really grounding pose. And see if an intention comes up for you, for your practice, whatever that might be. Just take a few breaths here. And then throughout your practice, if you notice your mind, whenever you notice your mind wandering, you can bring this intention that you're setting back to mind to help you refocus and come to a more present place, a more mindful place. So from that child's pose, come on up to the hands and the knees. we're going to curl the toes under. Now, if you have any wrist issues, rather than downward facing dog, you would press up, but you'd be on your forearms in dolphin. So finding either dolphin or downward facing dog, and just breathing here, maybe bending one knee as you send the opposite heel down toward the mat, and then switching other side, really pulling your navel in, let your head hang, and then lowering the knees. We're going to come into our dog tilt, straight into that cow pose, and then pull the navel in straight into your cat. And let's do that a couple more times. Inhale into your dog tilt. Exhale into your cat pose. And one more time. Inhale, dog tilt. And exhale, cat. And then coming back to that neutral positioning. Curl the toes under. We're going to send the hips back up into downward facing dog. And then walk the feet up toward the top of your mat so that you end up in a forward fold. Hanging forward fold. You want to have your knees slightly bent here so that there's no strain in your lower back. So just hanging out, maybe cross your arms, let your head hang, and breathe. About 5 more breaths here. Good, about 2 more breaths. And then keep your knees bent. You're going to slowly start to roll your way up. Keep your head, your chin tucked rather. Come all the way up to the top of the mat. And then just take your time finding mountain pose. I'll get my camera adjusted. So hands at the chest, at the heart center. We're going to take the feet hip width apart. And then inhale, reach the arms out and up, looking up as the palms touch. And as you exhale, folding forward, move your legs. Inhale up part way, flatten your back here. Exhale into your fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out wide, coming up. Exhale, hands come to rest at the chest. And again, inhale, reaching out and up, just some slow half salutes. Exhale, fold. Exhale, hands come back down to rest at the chest. So we're going to come to the top of our mats. Hands at the heart. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from your hips. Inhale up part way. Flatten your back. Exhale. And we're going to step the right foot back into a high lunge, but then lower that right knee down to the mat. We're just going to hang out in our low lunge. If it felt okay and we could come upright, then we can do that. Otherwise, you can keep the hands down onto the ground. See what works best for you here. One more breath. And then bring your hands back to the mat. And we're going to take, as we inhale, we're going to pause. But then as we exhale, we're going to take this left leg and bring it toward extension. Now, the knee might be bent a little bit, and that's okay. Just as close to extension as you can without rocking that knee. And then, in this case, with the right hip, we want it to stay over the right knee. We're not pressing it back, okay, beyond. All right, so inhale, coming into that lunge, forward. forward, but then exhale and coming into your sort of half pyramid pose. Inhale, coming forward into the lunge. Exhale, half pyramid. One more time. Inhale forward into the lunge, and then exhale, hanging out in this forward fold. 2 more breaths here. And then slowly coming back into the low lunge. Placing your hands onto the mat, stepping back into plank. And then this time lower your knees, hug the elbows in, lower all the way down with control. Slide your hands forward, and then inhale, slowly rolling up into a baby cobra. Exhale, and release down. Hands slide back to chest level. Inhale, hands and knees this time. Curl your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we're going to see about stepping the right foot through. Lowering that left knee this time down to the mat. For this low lunge, you can keep your hands on the ground, or you might be able to lift your torso upright. See what's available to you. And same goes, if you wanted to, you could have the toes of that back foot curled under, or you could have the top of the foot resting onto the mat. Either way, it's fine. And then we're going to bring the hands back down to the mat. We're going to come into those pulses, that low lunge into the half pyramid. So inhale, and we're in our low lunge. As we exhale, we start to bring the hips back just a bit, bring that right leg toward extension, and then inhale back to the low lunge. Exhale, half pyramid. 2 more times. Inhale into your low lunge. Exhale, half pyramid. And then one more time. Inhale into that low lunge. Exhale, extend. Hanging out here for just a few breaths. And then slowly coming back into your low lunge, hands to the mat. We're going to step back into plank. This time shifting forward onto the toes, either lower the knees or full chaturanga all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. So from here, we're just going to step or walk or even hop the feet to the top of the mat. Coming up partway, flatten the back, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out wide, coming up. Exhale, hands come to rest at the chest. Good. All right, so inhale, reaching out and up. We're going to grab hold of the right wrist, and as you exhale, pull gently toward your left side. And then inhale back to center, grab hold of the left wrist. Exhale, gently pull toward your right side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale up part way, flatten the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms out wide again. Grab hold of that right wrist. Exhale, gently side bend to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale, hands come to rest at the chest. So we're just going to pause here for a moment. Maybe the hands come together at the chest, our center. And we're going to come into a little bit of balance challenge. So I'm going to step back a little bit on a good bit more sturdy ground for myself. you go. We're going to do Padagusthasana, which is hand the big toe. So that's why I needed to find some sturdy ground for that. So the beginner version of this is what we will all practice together at first. And so for that, let's shift the weight out of the left leg. And can you chair anything to hold on to the wall? You can have that. But when you're ready, empty that weight out of the left leg and bend the knee. See if you can hold on to that knee, hugging that knee inward without locking through your support leg. We don't want to lock through that right knee if we can help it. Now from here, see if you can reach around the front of the left knee with the left hand. Right hand is just going to rest on your hip, on the right hip. And keep your gaze focused on something still in front of you, about eye level. And see if you can start reaching that left knee out to the side. Reaching that knee out. Just let the foot sort of hang. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, steady yourself and just bring that knee back to center. And release the foot down. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So shift the weight out of this right side as best you can. And then whenever you're ready, hug that right knee in. It's really tempting to lock through that support knee, in this case the left knee. Because I think we do that because the body feels like it's going to make us more sturdy, when in reality it makes us more, that rigidity kind of takes away from the mobility and flexibility of this movement. We did have to make those balance adjustments. So left hand on the left hip, right hand reaches around the front of the right knee, and when we're ready, keep your focus on that drishti, that still object. Reach the knee out to your right side. Good. One more breath here. And slowly coming back to center and release the foot down. Okay, so that's more of the hand to knee version of Padagusthasana. We're going to practice it one more time, and this time you have the option of either practicing it exactly like we did before, that A and B version with the knee bent, of course, or if you're working on grabbing that big toe, maybe you're a little more flexible, have a little bit more balance in this pose, then you can go to the more advanced option. So I'm going to be practicing the advanced option since I just demoed the beginner option, but remember to do whichever one works best for you. Really honor your practice, okay? So shift the weight out of this left side, because this is a leg that's going to go up first. And if you wanted to, you could hug the knee and either keep hold of the knee or grab hold of the foot or your big toe if you can, and see about extending the leg out in front of you. The knee might be bent a little bit, that's okay. When you're ready, just like we did before, whether your knee is bent or the leg is extended, just start reaching your leg out to the side. Find that drishti. Find that still object. Stay with your breath. And then whether the knee is bent or the leg is extended, bring the leg back to center and release. And then we'll just do the same thing on the other side. So shift the weight into this left side. The right leg is the leg that's going to be going up. And just wait until you're ready. You know all the steps, and so there's no need to rush. You're not going to fall behind. The knee is either bent or you have the leg extended. When you're ready, start reaching that leg out, side, as best you can. Try to keep your hips level. As best you can, try to keep that space lengthening between the sternum and your navel. Lifting that sternum up. And when you're ready from there, slowly coming back to center and releasing the foot or the knee, in whichever case, back down. So then coming back to the top of the mat here. Hands are at the chest. Inhale, extend the arms up above the head. Exhale into your forward fold. Inhale up partway, flatten your back. Exhale into your fold. Hands to the mat. We're going to step or hop back into plank, your choice. Shift forward on the toes and either lower the knees or full chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale and lower. Inhale, hands and knees or plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let the head go. Now from here, we're going to step the right foot forward, lower the left knee down to the mat. Okay, and we're going to hang out in our low lunge for a bit here. Now, right foot is forward, and I did that on purpose just so that you can see what we're going to be doing with that foot. So at first, we're going to slide the foot over a little bit toward the right edge of your mat. Toes are going to be facing forward, and then we're going to sneak this right hand on the instep of the right foot. And as we do this, we're stretching that right hip, we're hugging the right knee in toward the right tricep. So some of us are going to stay here in our sleeping lizard up on the hands. Your next step, if you have a block, your next step may be to bring your elbows, your forearms, down onto the block. And you guys might not be able to see it beyond my foot, but I have my block turned kind of long ways so that I have room for the elbows. Now, if you come down there and it's like, whoa, that's too intense, then just come back up to your hands. And obviously, for those of you that have very open hips, we might be able to bring the elbows down to the ground. All the while, we're hugging this knee in. Another thing we want to look out for is oftentimes when we start moving deeper into that hip opener, we are a little short on our stance with the lunge. And so when we start to notice this knee moving over that toe line, we back out, we step the foot forward, and then see about coming down a bit deeper into our sleeping lizard. Now from here, take just a couple more breaths, really pulling that knee in. And then back to the hands if you're not there already, because we're going to come to our next step here. So now we're going to start to turn the right foot outward. So the toes are at an angle, about a 45-degree angle or so. All right, we're going to keep this back knee grounded. Start twisting toward your right side. Okay. And then from here, reach back with your right arm. Look back behind you as you reach that arm back. And then we're going to come into a pulse here. So if you needed, you could have your left hand on a block. You could have that left knee on a blanket, whatever needs to happen here to make yourself more comfortable. But we're going to inhale and reach this right arm up and over the right side of the head. Exhale, circle around. And 2 more times like that. Inhale, up and over, circle. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward, over. Exhale, back. And then bring your hand, that right hand, back to the instep. Turn the toes of the right foot back forward. And then we're just going to ease ourselves back into a wide-kneed child's pose. Outdoor yoga. Get your mat dirty. So, wide-kneed child's pose. Your head is resting on top of your stacked hands here. We're just easing all the muscles around that lower back. Inviting them to release, to sort of untangle themselves. One more breath. And I'm going to turn so that we can do the other side. You guys can better see this side now. So, standing knees. We'll just make our way into that left lunge. So left leg is forward. I'm going to have my hands on the instep of my left foot. And this is where I'm hugging this left knee in toward my tricep. So even here, on the hands, trying not to slump down into the shoulders, but really press firmly through the hands. Pressing away from the ground, keeping the arms active, keeping the legs active, keeping the core braced. Now remember, you can come down to your block on the elbows if you can go a step further. Or maybe you come all the way down, still hugging the knee in. If you come down and the knee starts reaching away from you and there's nothing you can do to bring it back, well, that's your body telling you maybe you're not quite ready to go into that expression. And that's okay. That's fine. So whatever it is you need to be, just take a couple breaths extra here. And then let's start setting ourselves up by turning the toes of the left foot towards the left side, kind of angling them outward. We're up on the hands if you were down, coming back up onto your hands. Really rooting down through the right hand as we twist toward this left side. Torso's twisting to the left. Then we're going to do our circles here. So reaching that left arm back, looking back behind you. Inhale. Reach that arm out forward and over the left side of the head. Exhale. Circle it around. And 2 more times. Inhale. Over. Exhale. Circle around. 1 more time. Inhale. Over. And exhale. Circle around. And then just bring that left hand back to the instep. Turn the toes of the left foot forward again. And then we're just going to take that foot back. Coming back into your wide-kneed child's pose here. But this time, reach your arms out in front of you. And sort of keep your head lifted. We're going to come up onto the fingertips and then start walking your hands over toward your right side. Reaching and then folding. Resting your head on the ground or on your arm, wherever you can find that support. You could even use a block on the ground to rest your head if you wanted. And then lifting back upright, coming back to center. I'm going to do the same thing other side, walking over to your other side and folding. Slowly coming out of your fold, walking your hands back to center and coming back to a sitting position. So we'll start in Dandasana with the legs reaching out in front of us. Great. So pressing down through the legs. Does a stack of books count as a block? Sure, Victoria, that's a great block. I just now saw that. All right, so Dandasana. Now, here is where you may need your strap, okay, because we are going to be doing some forward folding. And so if you have kind of tight hamstrings, which many of us do, then sometimes a strap can come in handy here. I'll kind of turn off to the side. So we're going to start by extending first the right leg out in front of you. And if you're using your strap, you would just lasso the strap around that foot, okay, because it will be folding forward. Now another thing is, if you feel like you're kind of rounding when you come into this sitting position, then you can take your blanket and roll it and actually sit on the edge of that blanket, and then that can give you a lot more height through your back body. So don't be afraid to use these props, okay? They're here to help you. So sitting up nice and tall, inhale. As we exhale, we're going to start to sort of reach out through the chest. And if you can see, I've tried to get to an angle where you can see that I'm not rounding. Okay, see that difference? I'm not rounding to come into my fold, okay? I'm just seeing kind of how close my torso wants to get to my leg. Not forcing it, just seeing what's happening here. I don't even have my hands on my foot. You can grab your foot if you want. So on the next inhalation, we're going to come up part way and flatten the back, just like we do in our sun salute. So inhale, coming up part way, flatten the back, pull the navel in, exhale and fold. See if it doesn't take you maybe a little deeper into that fold. Two more breaths here. And then just slowly start to walk your hands back upright as you sit up. Now, we're going to have this right leg out to the side now, okay? And we have the heel of that left foot kind of close in by the groin. And here again, you could lasso up, in this case, that right foot with a strap if you wanted. So, take the palm of the right hand and rest it face up on top of the right leg. This is our side Janusarsasana. Inhale, reach that left arm up, and then as you exhale, just start sliding the right hand toward the foot, toward being the word. Now, as soon as you start to, you notice that the chest is turning toward the ground, then you've kind of lost this side body opening through the left side body. You kind of lost that stretch as soon as you start turning to face the leg. All right, so some of us are going to stay right here. If you feel like you can go a little bit deeper, you're going to take your right arm across the midline of the body, reaching kind of toward that left knee. Little by little, bringing the hands, the fingers of that left hand toward the toes, or maybe just reaching out and not quite grabbing it. See what's available to you. And then from there, see about reaching and grabbing hold of the foot with the right hand. Now, it may look like this. We may be up much higher or somewhere in between. It doesn't matter. Just be where you need to be. Take one more breath. And then slowly coming back upright. Now we're going to get into this inner right thigh a bit with a forward fold. So sitting up nice and tall, inhale. As we exhale, we just fold over that left leg. And feel that opening stretch through the inner right thigh here. One more breath. And just using your hands to help you press back upright. Same thing other side. So take your legs out in front. This time we're going to extend the right leg, and you can be sitting on the edge of a blanket here if you wanted to. I'm kind of on unlevel ground, and so that's going to help me with that. So right leg extends out in front. Left leg is back behind you, or actually the sole of the left foot is on the inside of that right leg. And actually I'm mirroring you guys, so I'm confusing us. It's the left leg that extends and the right foot comes in. Now we're on track. Okay. So at first we just work on sitting up nice and tall. Maybe we lasso that foot out in front of us, maybe not. And when we're ready, we start to fold over the leg. Reaching that leg out. Kind of reaching to the heel of that left foot. Reaching through the chest. Inhale, coming up partway, flattening the back here. Pull the navel in. Exhale and fold over the leg. Just noticing the difference between taking these folds on this side as opposed to the other side as we make our way through the sequence. Use your hands either side of that left knee to press yourself back upright. And then we're going to turn so that we have this left leg extending out to the left side. Left palm of the hand rests facing up. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, over. And so we might just stay here. You can already feel that stretch through, in this case, the left inner thigh. If you want to take it a step further, think about reaching that left arm across the body. And what we're doing here is we're then trying to nestle that left shoulder closer and closer toward the leg. And then we may be able to grab the toes. Remember, we may be right here. The good news is that either way, you're still practicing this side. Janusarsasan. And helping, slowly coming back upright. Maybe bring your hands back behind you, extend through your spine, and then exhale. One last forward fold here, getting into that left inner thigh. Notice the toes of this left foot. Make sure they're not dropping forward, that they're still facing up skyward. Take one more breath. And use your hands to help you press back. Bring the legs together. Staff pose, Dandasana. Hop the knees. And then we're going to come into a recline position. So just take your time. Reclining. And then once you get down there, hug your knees into your chest, rock side to side. Breathing deeply. We're going to place the hands on the kneecaps and just circle the knees in one direction. Just a nice little lower back massage for yourself here. And then opposite direction with those circles. Placing the soles of the feet down onto the ground. We're going to slide the heels closer in toward your glutes. Remember, if you have knee issues, you're going to take about 10 to 12 inches of space between the backs of the heels and your glutes. But otherwise, the heels are closely in. Now, the closer we bring the heels in, the more the knees want to splay out to the sides. So we also want to be mindful of that, keeping the knees over the ankles the whole time, especially as we start to lift the hips here. So we're going to do 5 pulses, lifting the hips on the inhale and then lowering the hips slowly down on the exhale. You do want to have your block handy. Probably should have told you that before you went to lie down. But grab your block, because on that 5th time where we pulse up, you're going to position the block underneath your sacrum, and we're going to hang out for a little restorative pose. So arms are down by your sides. Keep your head to center. Make sure you're not turning your head to look at the screen or anything, especially as the hips lift up, okay? Because that could hurt your neck, it could hurt your shoulders. So keep your head to center, very important. Toes facing center, knees tracking over the ankles, and let's go. So inhale, lifting the hips, cat tilting to do that. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, pressing down through the feet, lifting the hips up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, 3. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale. 4. And lower. Last one. Inhale. Grab that block. Position it. It could be flat or it could be on its side. Make sure that once you position that block under the sacrum, it has this sort of slight pulling motion that's happening toward the tailbone. Okay, we're trying to lengthen through the base of the spine. Also make sure that even if you have to kind of lift the shoulders, and make sure that you're not compressing through the neck, then do that as well. From here, extend the left leg. You could circle that foot around at the ankle a few times if you wanted, in the opposite direction. And lower, lift the right leg. If you need to keep the feet on the ground, keep the feet on the ground, that's fine. Turning the foot, circle, and circling in the opposite direction, just doing that. And releasing that foot down. So then lift the hips, take the block out from underneath you, lower the sacrum back down to the ground, and then hug the knees into the chest. Maybe lift your head up toward your knees. Remember your intention. Release the head down to the mat. Release the feet down. So you can either keep your feet grounded if you have lower back issues. That's how you're going to do your recline twist. Or you're going to hug the knees into the chest. Either way, though, reach your arms out by your sides. Inhale. And as you exhale, take your knees to your left side. Keep that right shoulder grounding. Look up at the sky or turn your head and look toward your right side. And bringing the head back to center. Bringing the knees back to center. Inhale. As you exhale, take your knees to your right side. This time keeping the left shoulder grounded. Turning your head to the left or keeping your head to center, either way. One more breath here. And then slowly bringing your head back to center. Bringing the knees back and placing the feet back down onto the mat. So finding a comfortable resting position. Maybe your knees stay bent. Maybe the legs extend. See what works for you. As always, I'm going to sit up just so that I can kind of talk us through a little bit better. You can hear me a little bit better. So just finding your comfortable Shavasana, whatever that is. And practicing at home, you know, we have the luxury of a lot of pillows, a lot of blankets, a lot of props that we might not necessarily have in our library class. So take full advantage of what you have on hand. So from there, start to scan your body. Maybe bringing your awareness to the navel at first. And just notice the movement of the navel with each breath cycle. So as you breathe in, the navel kind of moves out, and as you breathe out, the navel draws inward, slightly upward. And so as you practice this resting pose, whenever your mind gets distracted, we have the intention that you set at the beginning that you can come back to, but we also have this movement of that navel with each breath. Let that help you to connect to the breath each time you are distracted in Shavasana. From the navel area, just reaching through the body into the lower back. See if you can relax through the lumbar spine. That relaxation, reach down over the glutes into the hips, relaxing through your groin, inner thighs, quadriceps, hamstrings, soften the knees as you send that relaxation down the lower legs into the shins and calves. Softening the ankles as you relax the feet and toes. And again, bringing your awareness back to the navel, back to that rise and kind of lowering of the navel. And this time, see if you can visualize the breath rolling up and down the torso. So as you breathe in, visualize the breath rolling up the torso. As you breathe out, the breath rolling back down the torso. Just visualizing this. And as you breathe in this way, just invite all of the muscles, all of the organs in the breath's path as it rolls up and down the torso to relax, to soften, to release. Feel the release moving all the way up into the shoulders as they reach down the back body. Softening through the upper arms, over the elbows, into the forearms. Softening the wrists as you release the muscles of the hands and fingers. And then bringing awareness back up to the throat area, that throat chakra. And the throat chakra is important. This is often described as the bridge between the heart and mind. We find our voice. So relaxing deeply there, through the throat, through the neck, into the face. Relaxing all the muscles through your face, your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw, your forehead, and even the back of the skull. Feel it resting on the ground. Just a few more breaths here. Just start to deepen your breath, and with each breath you take, just feel yourself getting more and more prepared to transition slowly and intentionally out of Shavasana and into a sitting position, unless you want to stay in Shavasana for longer, which is your prerogative. Either way. So whether you're lying down or you are sitting up with me by now, bring the hands together at the heart. And I thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Also, thank you to the library for sponsoring this class for the community, making it a free class for the community. Hope to see you guys again next Tuesday. Namaste.